Howdy, happy Sunday. Just as a quick mileage update, we are at 253,920 miles in the odometer. But as I'm sure you saw from the title of this video, the Lexus had its first ever crash incident in its 253,000 miles of being on its road. It's the first time with me, first time with the previous two owners, so it's pretty unfortunate. I'll show you the damage right now. So Friday was the last day that I was working with the company that I was working for. I was driving the same roads that I had the past 6.5, 7 months, something like that. It's all back roads, about 45-minute commute each way, so I've driven them plenty of time spent driving them. No incidents every single time until my very last day driving them, of course. I'm driving down about 10 minutes from my job site. Coming up, getting ready to make a left turn, and as I'm coming up, there's another car coming onwards. Deer runs in front of the other car, misses it, but right in front of my car, and I couldn't miss it. So now me on the passenger side, here she is. Starting over from the driver's side, you can see the misaligned hood. You see the bumper still good. And then the further down, the more damage you get to see. So grill's missing. Headlights completely missing. You can see that nasty little dent up there. Hood's real peeled open on this side. Dent in the quarter panel right here. And dent in the hood up here. Hinges are still attached and everything. The shocks are still attached as well. Down here on the fender right here, side quarter panel, you can see it's popped off a little bit. I think it should be able to pop straight back in. I'm going to give that a shot just to see how that works, but we'll give that a look in a few. But backing up, here's what she looks like all in. It's a pretty nasty hit. It was a pretty big deer. Unfortunately, there was nothing that I could do about it. My options were to swerve into an oncoming car, swerve off into the road, or swerve off of the road, or hit the deer. And obviously I chose the third option because for my own safety and the safety of the others around me, I didn't really have a better choice. So this is what we're looking at. I'll show you in a second something that gives me a bit of hope. Now I'm back inside. I have liability only insurance on this, which means that insurance won't give me any money unless I hit somebody, and they won't even give that to me. They'll give that to the person that I hit. So it's the bare minimum for insurance. The reason that I did that was because when I bought this, it had 220,000 miles on it, and I wasn't going to go dumping a ton of money to cover something with that high of mileage every single month. So I just found it worth it only to put on liability, so it would give me more money to save for a better car, which will be covered by full coverage, but anything I choose to do now is on me. Insurance isn't going to give me a dime for this. So that's the reason that I've decided that I'm going to try taking on fixing it myself. Now let me show you what gave me hope for that. Now upon actually crashing, I realized that it didn't seem to be leaking anything. There's no oil coming out. There's no coolant. I did lose my AC. I'll show you why I lost my AC, but the thing that gives me the most hope, still starts up. She still runs. She still drives. I drove it to work after I crashed it. I drove it home the same day, and then I drove it around a little bit the other day just to give it a bit of a test run. So I'll show you what we're looking at now. Now, believe it or not, the hood does still pop. Yeah, you can see it's a little bent up there. Let me turn off the engine so you can hear me better. Now, upon my findings, here's what I found. This quarter panel, although it's dented here, still runs down straight. I don't think the whole thing is cocked in too much because it still does look pretty straight on, at least compared to the other side. I'd say they both look pretty good. They both look pretty evenly lined up. The airbox didn't seem to move at all, and that's tightened up to this side as well, which is also a good sign. So I think the only damage right here is this dent. Headlight, I don't think that for the passenger side headlight there's much that I can do about that. I think I'm gonna need a new headlight. I don't know it's directly telling me that, but it's just a gut feeling, I guess. Hood, yeah, there's not really any fixing that either. You can see it's pretty cool. Look at that, or not cool, but interesting. Look how it just peeled like that. Like the hood latch still works, and it just completely peeled around it, which I find fascinating. This hood latch still in decent shape. So new hood definitely needed. New light definitely needed. See a little bit of plastic cracking right here. This is just the big shield that kind of covers this. I'm probably going to pop out that little fastener right there before the day ends. I'll get that out later, but let me show you what we're looking at there. You can see the coolant reservoir is pushed back. It touches this right here, so this whole bar needs to be pushed back. The plastic fan shroud covering broke off right there. My little radiator support tie bar right there, it's bowed in a little bit, but I think that honestly can be pulled back. I'll get this plastic piece off and then I'll report back. Give me 1 second. Alright, well I took out that little pop rivet clip type thing. So this should just come clean off like that. There we go. So I'm going to take that. I'll show you what else we got in the back seat. rip that out with my pair of needle nose pliers here, but set that here. See the grill? That took a brunt of it, and you can see all the hair in there, kind of nasty, all cracked at the bottom. Some random pieces that I picked up off the side of the road. And then if you've ever wondered what the actual projector lens of a projector headlamp looks like, it's just a giant magnifying glass, really. So you can see that kind of sheared off right there. But yeah, so you had it branded right there. So we'll close that up, hop right back around front, and continue to show you what I was looking at. So the radiator here, you can see the tie bar, like I was saying, it goes straight across, kinks in like this, and then goes back out. I don't know how much of that kick in is supposed to be there, if that was just it buckling up against the radiator and that's why it looks like that now, but regardless, it needs to be pulled back out, and it looks like it has some decent flexibility as is. This little fan for the air conditioner is held in by bushings right there, so I'll be able to slide that out. I'll be taking most of this out just to bring it back forward and then putting it back in afterwards, at least all the stuff mounted up here. I'm pretty sure this is my trans cooler right here. I wouldn't place money on it, but I think so. Crash bar down there, completely intact, as you can see, which is beautiful. Airbag sensors right here, also completely intact. Once again, beautiful. You can see it's pretty kinked up here, at least compared to the other side. It's not terrible, honestly. Like, I thought it would be worse, but it looks like the brunt of it was just right around here. So if this gets pulled forward, it shouldn't be too bad. Radiator, it's kind of hard to see. The fan shroud is really what gives it away, and you might be able to see it down there, but it's bent, so I think I'm going to need to replace that, and I think I'm going to go at it regardless. For now, I'm just going to spend most of my time picking out all the trash out here, disconnecting all the bulbs, and just being able to get a better visibility vantage point out here. You can see my washer fluid cracked, and then as well, where is it? There she is. That's why I don't have AC. I'll see if I can find the video. As soon as I hopped out of here, I turned it back on just to make sure it would run. I just hear a loud and next thing I know, all of my refrigerant blew out, which is a shame because I got my air conditioning fixed this year, but what can you say? So I'm going to start gutting this all out. I'll rip pieces apart and then throw them into the bucket right here, and we'll see what we're looking at. I did also want to point this out, which I think is pretty funny. Turn on the headlights and turn on the hazards right here. All of the bulbs in here do still work. See my blinkers going, my high beam's on, and my low beam, it's not aimed in the right direction because completely up isn't exactly where your headlights are supposed to be aimed, but it does still work. Fog lights still work as well. And I'm going to be replacing this headlight as well because you can see there is a crack in this bracket right here. And if I'm changing one and it's going to be a nice, clean, clear headlight, I might as well do both. I'm just kind of going along with things I found. But the fan back there does completely clear the radiator. And like I said, the radiator's got a bit of a bend in it. But, I mean, it's completely manageable. I think it is. I think it's still got life left in it. So, we'll see. Like I said, let me get to pulling all the trash out now. It's interesting seeing how just random big chunks of this like this survived and then others came out. I'm going to try to get out the bulbs. At least save those because those bulbs were not cheap, so I don't want to lose those if I don't have to. A little bit more tugging, I was able to get this big piece out. Once again, this is the high beam connect, so toss that in the bucket. Foam chunk in the bucket. Some more plastic pieces in the bucket. Starting to get cleaned out. Look at all that refrigerant that leaked out. That was crazy how quick that all leaked out, and honestly. I'm saving the LEDs, the big ones at least. Small little chip ones can just get tossed out. I accidentally just touched this bulb with my hand, so I'm going to toss that one since it's just a blinker, and they're a dime a dozen, so it doesn't really want to come out, so I'll rip out everything around it. The nice part about having a vehicle that you're taking and throwing away the old parts is you don't really care about those old parts. You can be as violent as you want. Like, it won't come out. You just you get it out enough and you just tug it. So I'm gonna need both hands for this. Maybe, yeah, we'll see. But in the meantime, I'm labeling where everything comes out so I don't forget it. Just taking the big chunks of everything and tossing them out. See, there's my low beam. So once there's less stuff in here, it'll be a lot easier to work with. at the end of the night tonight, I don't know when it's going to rain next, but I'm probably throwing a tarp over this just to cover up the front end and keep working from there. So I'll do the things that I need two hands to do, and I'll give you an update there. All right, so the Lexus GX470 has 5 bulbs in the headlight, I believe. Yeah, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I labeled mine on the harness. I have my bottom extra light, which is the one that's sandwiched right in between the blinker and the low beam right here. I have my blinker / daytime running light, my side marker light, my high beam, and my low beam. So I have the harness all here. I don't really know what this wiring harness goes to down here. Not 100% sure, to be honest, but everything down here is still intact. That's all where it should be. So for now, I'm just going to kind of tuck this down here. I'll probably electrical tape off all the ends so that water doesn't get into the connections, but for the time being, she'll do. I'm still cleaning out little plastic bits like this, so I'll just continue to throw those away. They're all slimy because they're covered in refrigerant, so I'm definitely going to have to wash my hands when I'm done with this. And I might get some degreasing wipes and kind of clean up everything, see if that'll take care of it. But for the time being, just getting a little crap taken out, you know, finding bits of plastic, bits of metal everywhere. So I'm dripping with sweat. I can't even flip my camera around because I'll drop it because it's so slippery right now. But yeah, for the time being, clean out's going good. All right, well, I hit it with a little bit of the shop vac as well just to get out any small stuff that I couldn't reach. And here's what we're looking at. I did move the wiring harness up to sit inside of there. I'll tape it all off with electrical tape just to make sure the connections aren't touching anything they shouldn't, so that nothing shorts out, grounds out, whatever. That's the last thing I want is more problems on top of what I already have, but shut it down. Let's see what she looks like now. So I guess it's something better. There's less stuff in the way, but honestly, it doesn't look as bad as I thought it did. I'm going to hope it's not as bad and just it's not worse than it looks, but I guess we'll see. This part definitely needs to be kinked out a little bit, and this part's straightened out, and the main bar that runs across underneath pulled back. Looking at it compared to how that one's mounted, looks like there's a little bit of mount for the headlight right there, and the rest of it just screws in up here, back here, wherever. So hopefully that's not too bad. I'm just noticing this for the first time. That looks like a little plastic clip that might hold on the headlight as well, and if so, I'll have to fabricate something or make something work there, but hopefully whatever set of headlights I put in as the last one, I'm not worrying about them again after this. For here, I haven't even given this a shot yet. Kind of going along, doing this for the first time here, but she doesn't want to go in. It's probably because I'm doing it one-handed and I can't line things up, and I might do this another day because it's very hot outside. But aside from that, hood, headlights, probably a radiator. Bending out the main support bar, I believe it's the upper tie bar there it's called, but we shall see. I'll start shopping around online. I'll start seeing what I can find because it's going to be a pain, but I think it's doable. Take a look at that. I did pop it, and it's got a little bit of a gap right there, but it did go back in, which gives me some hope that this piece is straight because it looks like it, and it looks like if the hood was straight, it would be lined up with it. So I'll hop in. I'll go over some final remarks for this video, and then the real project begins. I'll start ordering parts. I'll start getting things ready to go, and then we'll see how things will go from there. So I'm sitting in the back seat now because the sun's beating on the front. It's probably 90, 92 degrees out. It's pretty toasty today, but I kind of wanted to go over why I'm rebuilding it, because with an accident like this on a car that's got over 250,000 miles on it, closer to 500,000 than it is 0, probably doesn't make much sense to you as to why I'm doing this, especially if insurance won't cover it. And long story short, the reason is kind of because I want to. You've seen the Explorer. The Explorer is my car for a while, but it was more of a family car. It kind of got passed around, and my brother got it, and I still drive it here and there, and occasionally if my parents need something, they drive it. But for the most part, it's shared, so it's not really mine. This, on the other hand, this is my car. Nobody else in the family drives this. I drive it. My brothers don't. So it's got some sentimental value to me, and if I want to keep it running, then I'm going to keep it running. If it didn't drive as well as it did, I wouldn't. If it started shifting wrong, if it started missing shifts, if it started misfiring, things like that, and I couldn't figure out what was wrong with it, I just call it a loss. But the fact that it still drives as well as it does, even in the condition that it's in right now, you wouldn't even know by the way that it drives. I decided it's best just to keep it. So I'm going to get it fixed up. It's already stayed inspected and everything. And with the way that the new car market's looking, and the way the used car market is also looking, it's not worth it to go shopping for something else right now. So if I can put $2,000 hopefully worth of work into this versus putting in, $10,000 down or more on a new car, I mean, what's the point? So if I can get this running, if I can get some more miles out of this, I'll do it. So that's the way that I see it, at least. For the meantime, I'll just keep ordering parts, keep looking around, and hopefully make this into a video series, something interesting. I'll probably have some other guys help me. You'll probably see something in the future, but yeah, for the time being, the situation sucks. I was really upset in the moment, and I mean, now it's kind of like, whatever. You live and you learn. There's nothing I could have done about it that would have ended any better. So this was, honestly, with the deer in front of me, that was the best case scenario for what happened. So I'm safe. Everybody else on the road seems to be safe around me. So I'm glad that everybody came out okay, that the vehicle's the only thing that was harmed, and the deer, obviously. So, yeah. I'll keep you all posted. I'll get working on it, and I'll see what I can do. So for reference, the accident happened on August 26th. Today's August 28th. I'm going to see what I can get done, and I don't know if I can have it done within a month, but that'd be pretty cool because I'm trying to go camping later in the month, and if it's ready to go, that'd be pretty awesome. So we'll see. If I didn't put in the pictures already, I'll put them in right now, but thanks again for watching. I'll keep you all posted as things go on.